Do you want to know what made the biggest difference for me in getting a professional vocal sound? 2 words: vocal layering. It took me years to figure out, but the secret ingredient to that rich, full sound you hear in professional sounding records is vocal layering. It's like turning a vocal performance into a choir, all with the same voice. And today, I'm peeling back the curtain to reveal this powerful technique. So stick around till the end because I'm sure you're going to learn something new. Before we hop in, I'm actually promoting a like challenge on this video. If this video hits 250 likes in the first 2 weeks, I will personally send everyone that liked the video my vocal preset pack, Vocal Magic 1, for free. It comes with over 50 drag and drop presets that works for FL Studio, Ableton, and Logic. That's $100 in vocal presets that you'll get for free. Message to your inbox. If you smash that like button, you know what to do. So let's hop into the video. To start off, I want to dissect what is vocal layering. Think about vocal layering like building a skyscraper. Each layer of the skyscraper adds more depth and complexity. Vocal layering is just stacking multiple voices on top of each other. We're making a voice sandwich. Many times having multiple voices sing the same part can make it more impactful, can make it stand out in the mix more, and can make it have more energy. Vocal layering is a really popular technique that's been used from everyone from the Beatles to Queen to Bon Iver. They've all created their own vocal skyscrapers. They've all created their own vocal masterpieces through vocal layering. But what's the blueprint that they follow? Well, that's what I'm here to explore and what I'm here to tell you. Now, a lot of times with vocal layering, you can just sing the same part and record it twice, 2 or 3 times, and then pan them left and right to get a good result. This is the most basic of vocal layering, and it's called doubling or tripling, depending on how many you do it. Here's a vocal mix that I did for a client a while back, and all of the vocal parts are separated by color. This particular one is unison, which means that I'm singing the same part as the actual melody all together. These are the tracks we're working with right here. As you can see, we have a variety of panning. So let's just take a listen to what it sounds like. Mechanical lover. Someday we'll be stronger, screaming that we don't belong here. If we just had one voice, it'd be kind of weak. And this is a high part for me to sing anyway, so it needs a little bit more beef. Take a listen to the bass included. This is a full octave, all singing the same notes, all singing the same parts, panned, recorded over probably 10 times. We'll be older. Mechanical lover. Someday we'll be stronger, screaming that we don't belong. Hopefully you can hear that these extra layers of vocals are giving a lot to enhance the actual vocals themselves. Many times if you think you're hearing just one vocal in a song, it's actually 3 vocals, one down the middle and a double and another double. Left, right, middle, 3 separate takes of the vocal performance, then all aligned together to make something that sounds really good, really thick, and really energetic. Another key factor in vocal layering is you can only have so many things singing the same notes. So instead of singing the same notes, we're going to add different notes of the chord or harmonies. Take a listen to what all of these sound like together, including the main vocal itself with the harmonies. These are all harmonies here. I'll play the harmonies first, and then I'll play the main part together. There will be older. Mechanical lovers. Someday we'll be stronger, screaming that we don't belong here. One day we'll be wiser, hypocrites always somewhere. Someday we'll be soldiers, fighting for love, not madness. Now this is all backing tracks. All of these, I was trying to create a really big choir, and this is really over the top, but it really illustrates my point of the importance of vocal layering. Take a listen to it with the actual track itself. One day we'll be older, mechanical lovers. Someday we'll be stronger, screaming that we don't belong here. Really powerful stuff. You can see that it adds so much to this main voice by just extending the sonic space that it is. For these harmonies, oftentimes what I'll do is I'll go through chord by chord. In a chord, normally you have 3 notes. That way I have 3 different harmonies, right? One singing the lower note, one singing the middle note, and one singing, and I have it labeled as lower, but this is probably the higher note. I go through and make sure my voices are hitting all of those notes. If you just solo the harmonies, one by itself. You'll hear it's not a very interesting part from a melody perspective, but it's just there for support. One day we'll be all the mechanical lover. Let's take this harm middle. Someday we'll be stronger, screaming that we don't belong. I'm just following the chord outline, and that's all I'm doing. Adding the low, adding the higher. Someday we'll be stronger. Great. As I mentioned before, this is a really powerful technique for getting those extra wide and extra energetic vocals. Let me show you how I use this on a track that's more normal than just a really, really big choir. For this song in particular, for the verse, I just have one single vocal. But as we get to the pre-chorus, I started to double them up, pan them left and right. And then the chorus, I actually have a total of 5 vocals. I did an octave higher in left to right, I did left to right of the same in unison, and then I'd have my main vocal here. Take a listen what they sound like all together. Smoke some marijuana, we can drink away our problems. We don't have to think about them tonight if we don't wanna. Perfect. That is a really classic pop sound, and all I had to do was just record my voice 5 different times, pan them left and right, and all of a sudden I have some thickness. Let's hear it in the context of the mix. Don't wanna shut it down. Now that you know the general idea of vocal layering and adding harmonies, let's hop into some more tips to help you get a better vocal song. Another tip I can give for vocal layering, especially if you have a lot of vocal layers, is to put them into buses so that you can affect them all at once. This is my double, my triple, and my high octaves. I'm going to click here, click Create Track Stack to put them in a summing track together. This way, any effect that I put on the summing track will affect all 4 of these at once, and I don't have to copy and paste the effects like that. So, let's say here, I like what I have, but it's not quite. I think a cool effect would be a delay. So I'm going to go delay, stereo delay. I want it to be really subtle, so I'll take the output down. But this is already giving me effect. I didn't have to do it on every single track. It's affecting all of them at once. And then after the delay, I like to throw it into some more reverb. Check this out. Shut it down. Oh, yeah. We'll paint it down. I just affected all of them at once without having to copy and paste. If you're looking to work fast, this is the way to do it. Another really important thing that happens with vocal layering that is for the upper echelon of really great sounds is aligning the vocal takes with post-editing software. Oftentimes we have small discrepancies in timing when we record multiple takes, and that discrepancy in timing makes the sound really big. However, if we want a really tight, clean, well-produced sound, we can edit the timing so that they all start and stop on the same exact part. Take a look here. In Logic, what we can do is we can select these and we can click on the flex time tool. And what we can do is we can align all of them to our top voice. We can see that we're starting on this syllable or making sure we're starting on that syllable. Right? If all of these are really tight together, those all look pretty tight. Let's go to this part here. We can smoke some marijuana, we can drink away our problems, we don't have to think. Perfect. Let's just go here and let's just do a really rough edit quantize and let's see what happens. We can smoke some marijuana, we can drink away our problems, we don't have to think about them tonight. I'm hearing some pitch problems, and that's just from the recording, but you can hear that when they're way more in sync like that, it's giving a more professional produced sound. Let's hear with the main voice. We can smoke some marijuana, we can. But it's one thing to put it to the grid. What the best producers are doing, and what I recommend doing, is using the timing of this actual vocal here. If you have a really good take, it's going to be close to the actual rhythm it should be, but just make sure that these are lining up. Make sure that these aren't happening before in our doubles, and so on and so forth. Make sure this note, yep, pretty good there, pretty good there. These could probably use a little bit longer. And I'm just doing this by the waveform. I'm dragging and dropping as I see fit. I'm looking at this one as my reference, and I'm making sure that they're about the same there. It's going to get me most of the way there. As you can see, this part is a little bit later than these guys are singing, so I'm actually just going to move it, and it'll move all of them. So now, marijuana, we can already better.
We can smoke some marijuana.
A really subtle change, but this can help really tighten up your vocal mix. It can really help tighten up those vocal layers. This is why most of the time you don't perceive those vocal layers, but they are there. They're perfectly aligned to the main voice. They're perfectly pitch corrected as well. None of these are pitch corrected, by the way, which is helping to give more of a width. If you're looking for a choir vibe from a lot of different voices, don't use pitch correction and don't use any timing corrections either. What you want is what happens in a really big crowd is those timing discrepancies and pitch discrepancies can help add depth and width. Another thing I like to do with my backing vocals is I like to take a little bit off the top end to make my main voice shine. So I'll go into the EQ here. I'm just going to dip down a little bit at 8K, not a ton, but you'll hear that my main voice is going to come through even more.
We can smoke some marijuana. We can drink away our problems. We don't have to think about.
Really subtle, but it helps to bring out that main voice a little bit more. Sometimes I'll even boost this depending on what the sound I want is, but that's a little trick to help your vocals and your layered vocals sit a little bit farther in the mix. Otherwise, I'm using the exact same settings I have on my chorus vox here. You can see my EQ settings, really subtle. I use the same exact settings on my backing tracks as my chorus vox. I just literally dragged and dropped them, but then all I did is I panned them and then I turned them down for volume's sake. In the bus, that's where I might take a little bit off the top end to help it blend into the mix a little bit more. Also notice that all of these are panned left and right, left and right. We're staying out of the way of the main vocal. Whenever we go into mono, that main vocal is going to be the loudest one because it's dead center. That's super important so it doesn't get lost in the mix. We want that vocal front and center of the listener's attention. We can hide these vocals with more reverb, we can hide these with delays, and we can pan them to put them out of the way of the main vocal. These are all ways of helping mix these layered vocals together to create a really cool soundscape. Mastering the art of vocal layering can seem like constructing a skyscraper, but with these tips and techniques and following along with what I did and the knowledge, you can create vocal soundscapes that sound awesome. Go out and start building. And don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you like the content. Once again, if this video gets 250 likes in the first 2 weeks, I will send my vocal preset pack to everybody that liked this video for absolutely free. As a gift to you, thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.